If you're looking to share your music online, it has never been easier to release your music to Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, and a heap of other places using DistroKid. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how easy it can be. Let's go. Hi, my name is Pete and welcome to Studio Live today, where my goal is to help you create, record and release your best music. And we are talking releasing today with DistroKid, and a big thank you to DistroKid who are sponsoring today's video. Now, this video is in 3 parts. We're firstly going to cover the essential things you need before you release a song. I'm then going to take you through a complete release process of my new song called Imagination. And then I'm going to answer the 3 most frequently asked questions that I get about releasing your music with DistroKid. And to help you out, I've included timestamps. So if you want to jump to a particular part of the video, check the timestamps down in the description. Before you release a song, there are 7 key things that you need to have ready to go. So let's jump in and go through those now. The first thing that you will need to release your music is a distributor. Now, not only are DistroKid sponsoring this video, but I've been using DistroKid for more than 3 years and have released an album, 2 EPs, and a number of singles. And the reason I've been able to release so much music is that you can release an unlimited number of songs, EPs, and albums every year with DistroKid for just $19.99 per year. And even better than that, if you use the link down in the description, you'll get 7% off your first year on any of DistroKid's plans. The second thing you'll need is an audio file of your song. So you'll need to export or render or share an audio file from your DAW, your digital audio workstation. I recommend an uncompressed WAV file. It is the most universally accepted. And once you have that WAV file ready to go, you can move on to the next step, which is number 3, your album artwork. Now, album art needs to be a square image file, at least 3000 by 3000 pixels in a JPEG or a PNG format. The recommendations are to keep it simple, avoid blurry images, only include text and logos and information that are actually about your band, your name, and the name of your song. That will ensure that when you release, it's going to be accepted by all of the stores. Number 4 is your artist name. Now, the reason I mention this is you want to check to make sure there's no other artist with your exact name. That can cause issues when you're releasing because it may add your music to their profile. So check in Spotify, check in Apple Music, in iTunes, and see if someone has your name. And if they do, vary your name slightly to make sure it's 100% unique. It's going to save you a lot of trouble down the track. Number 5 is your song title. Make sure that you know all the different titles of your songs and exactly what you're going to call them. You've checked spelling, you've checked title capitalization, and that you know that they're going to be in the right format when you're releasing. Number 6 is the genre of your music. Now, DistroKid accepts 2 different genres, and some stores will have 1, some will have 2. So have a primary and a secondary genre or category of your music in mind so that you're ready to pick those when you go through your release. And finally, you want to consider where you want to release. Do you want to release to all the different stores, all the different streaming platforms, or are there some that you want to actually not include? And I'll show you when we go through the process how you can select which stores you want to release to. So now that you know all of the bits and pieces you need to gather before you release your music, let's jump over to the PC and get this release happening. I've logged in here to my DistroKid account, and here is all the music that I've released. Now, to upload a new song, or in your case, maybe your first song, we're going to click on the upload button, and this is going to take us into the DistroKid upload form. Step 1 is to choose the stores to release to. Now, my recommendation is to leave them all on, but if there's a particular store that you didn't want to release to, just unselect it and then tick again if you want to reselect it. And these are all the stores that your music will be uploaded to and then made available to stream or purchase. The next option here is number of songs, which is whether we're releasing one song, a single, or multiple songs, an EP or an album. Now, if we select multiple songs, what will actually happen is further down, instead of being 1 track worth of information, we'll have 5 different tracks worth of information to complete, which you can see here. We've got track 1, and as we scroll down, we've got track 2, track 3, and so on. So we'll need to fill in all the information for multiple tracks. In this one, we're just releasing 1 track, but all you need to do is follow the exact same instructions for multiple tracks if you're releasing an EP or an album. Next, we need to advise if our song has been previously released. So if it's an updated version of a song, then we need to put yes and then update the original release date. This one is a brand new song. We're going to leave that as no. Next up is artist or band name. Now, DistroKid have got some guidelines here. They let you know to make sure you're not using anyone else's name without their permission, that if you've got a featured artist on your track, you put that in the track title, not in the artist name, and to make sure your capitalization is okay. The other recommendation I have, as I've mentioned, is to make sure you've got a unique name, because if you're using a name that someone else has released as, then you can run into trouble with your music landing in their catalogs. Now, be careful with this, because the musician account for $19.99 per year, you only get one artist name. The Musician Plus, if you upgrade to that, you get two, and then you can get 5 and more if you go to the label account. But on the musician plan, you're only going to get one artist name, so choose it wisely. Next up, we have whether your artist name is in Apple Music or Spotify. Now, because I've released before, my name is there. If you've released before, you'll be able to actually make sure that you attach your song to your artist name of your previous releases. The first time you release, though, it will create one for you. So once again, that's why it's so super important to have a unique artist name. Next up is the release date. Now, with the musician account, you don't have control over the release date. It will be released as soon as possible. If you upgrade to the Musician Plus account, you get this as a premium feature where you can select a date in the future, and that will be the date that your song is released. The same is true for pre-orders. If you have a Musician Plus account, you can set a pre-order for iTunes, Amazon, and Google Play, meaning folks can actually purchase your song, and then when it's released, they get it on that day. And record label is yet another feature of the Musician Plus account. If you don't have the Musician Plus, the record label will be DK and then a number there. So if you do want to have control over the name of your record label that you release under, then you will need to upgrade to the Musician Plus or the label account. Time to dive into the fun stuff. I've removed my face so you can see this information from DistroKid. So hit pause if you want to read this, but this is the advice that they give around album artwork. Keep it clear, don't make it blurry, 3000 by 3000 pixels, and make sure you're not including any of those other words that are not relevant. If you're putting hashtags and email addresses and other promotional things in there, it may not make it. Now, here's one I prepared earlier. I'm going to bring across my files here. I've got my Pete John's Imagination in a PNG and a JPEG file, so I can use either of these with DistroKid. Let's use PNG because it's generally slightly better quality. All we need to do is drag that across and drop it, and boom, there is my album artwork ready to go. And once again, if you want to create your own album artwork, check out canva.com, a free design platform that can help you out. Next up is the language. So if your lyrics are in a different language, just select the language there and move on to the next one, which is our genre. So the first genre or category I'm going to choose is hip hop or rap. And then the second genre here, I'm going to make alternative. So you can make those whatever you like, just make sure they match up, because that is going to be where those songs show up. So if you want to make it into playlists and you want people to be able to find your type of music, make sure your genres are what you want them to be. Okay, we're starting to get into the nitty gritty here. We need our track title. So I'm going to type in Imagination. I'm going to make sure I've spelled it correctly and use the correct capitalization and followed all of these rules from DistroKid. So it's giving you these tips and guidelines because DistroKid want to make sure your song gets released and it doesn't get rejected by the stores because you haven't followed these. So please hit pause right now, or when you're doing it, read through them carefully and make sure if you're using featured artists, if you're doing other things, that you are putting the right information there in the song title. Time for what is arguably the most important part of any song release, the actual song. So what we need to do here is click on the Choose File button, navigate to where we have the file saved. So here it is, Pete John's Imagination Master.wave. Make sure it's the right length, the right size. Please listen back to it, check that it's actually right. I've had a listen before the video, so we're all good. I'm going to click on that one. I'm going to click open, and there you go. It's added that in there, ready to upload at the end of the process. Next up, we have the Songwriter. So if you wrote the song or you're managing the Songwriter, it's an original tune, leave it there. If it's a cover song, someone else wrote it, click on that one. And then you're going to go into a whole bunch of information here about cover songs. Now, I'm not going to cover this in detail, but the bottom line is you can release a cover. DistroKid will still collect royalties and pass on to the original artist, and it does cost you $1 per month, so $12 per year to release a cover song using DistroKid. This one is not a cover, so we're going to leave it as I wrote this song. Next up, we have this songwriter information. So what we can do here, we can decide whether it's music, lyrics, or music and lyrics. I happen to be the only songwriter of both the music and the lyrics, so I can enter my name in here. Now, it does need to be your real name at this point. You'll notice that my artist name is Pete Johns. I am actually Peter Johns. So you need to add your real name there, and that is to ensure that if there are royalties to be paid from a songwriting perspective, that it actually goes to you. It needs to be your real name that goes in there, especially if you have an artist name that is nothing like your real name. You want to make sure you put your real name in there as the songwriter. If you need to add more, just hit the add button and you can add multiple fields if there are multiple songwriters on your track. Next up, we have explicit lyrics. Now, I'm not sure if it's defaulted to yes because I said it was hip hop and rap, maybe, but we're going to go no, I don't have explicit lyrics in this particular song. We are getting there, just a few more options to go. Next up, is this a radio edit? No, the song is clean and always has been. If you have released an explicit version and this is a cut down, clean, or radio version, you can select that so that the different platforms will know that this is the one to play in a playlist of clean songs. Is it an instrumental or does it contain lyrics? In my case, it is a song containing lyrics, so we're going to leave that one as is. Now, this part is interesting. It's been added recently, and this is the preview clip time. So for TikTok, Apple Music, iTunes, anywhere that uses a specific part of a track as the preview, or in the case of TikTok, as the part of the track that can go with a video, this is where you can do this. So we can let the streaming services decide, or I can actually click here and specify a time. So if you want to come in here and say, yeah, it's right at the 1 minute and 10-second mark of this song, that's where you want it to actually jump in, then you can actually do that. You can also do this after the fact. So one of the things you can edit is this preview clip start time. So for now, I'm just going to let the streaming services decide. Next, we have track price. Now, this is another of the premium features available on the Musician Plus account. So if you have the Musician account, this is going to default to the 99-cent track price. We can vary this on the Musician Plus either down to 69 cents or up to $1.29. I'm going to leave it at 99 cents. So I've removed my face and let's quickly jump through the optional extras that DistroKid provide. First up is Instagram and Facebook. So this allows people to use your music in the Music in Stories feature in Instagram and can potentially open it up for you to be able to use your music in Facebook in the future. If you want to not do that, leave it unticked. I'm going to tick it because I like to release to as many places as possible. Next up is the Store Maximizer. So this is $7.95 per year, and what this will do is whenever DistroKid add a new store, it will automatically release your song to that store. You can, of course, go in and manually add new stores by editing your release at any time, but this will do it for you automatically. Next up is Shazam and iPhone Siri. So this means that people can identify your single if they're hearing it being played on radio, TV, in stores, restaurants, parties, etc. I'm actually going to add this. I haven't used this on previous ones. I want to test it out. I want to add this one to Shazam and iPhone Siri, so I've selected that option. And the final option here is Leave a Legacy. So this is a $29 one-time fee, and this means that DistroKid will never delete and remove your song from stores in the future, even if you don't have an active DistroKid account. So if you want to make sure your song is on there forever, then you can select that option. All right, this is it, the final check boxes. I need to tick on all of these. You can hit pause and read what I'm agreeing to, but I'm basically saying I'm doing all the things that DistroKid told me to do and that they have warned me against all of the things that may go wrong if I don't follow that. So all I need to do now is hit the big blue done button and we are going to be done. Boom. Verifying, uploading. The album artwork is uploaded first. That looked like it's worked okay. The track is now uploading. We are going 30%. Isn't this riveting? But you can see it's pretty quick process here. Depending on the speed of your connection will be how quickly the actual track is uploaded. I am going to go away, wait for this to finish, and then come back. And there we go. It is 100% done. It is finishing, and then it's going to pop us to our hopefully success screen, which it has. Here we go. Done. That was easy, wasn't it? There is my release, Imagination by Pete Johns. It is now being rushed out there through the internets and going to all of the different stores so that it can be available for streaming and for purchasing. And if we scroll down, we get a little bit more information. When will this single be released? Give stores up to a week to push your album live, and then it gives us some additional information about how long it's going to take to go to each of those stores. Now, the cool thing is here that we can share to different social media sites, and we've also got this cool little preview option. So if I click on this one, it's going to load up in a separate tab, and it's got my name there, it's got my album, and we can come down here and we can pre-save it to Spotify. So if folks want to actually click that link, they can pre-save it. And in fact, I will put that link to my Hyperfollow for this song in the description of this video if you want to check it out. Time for the final part of this video, our frequently asked questions. So I'm going to go through the top 3 questions that I get asked about releasing with DistroKid. Number 1, how long does it take for my music to appear in stores? Well, a rough guide is between 1 and 5 days for most stores most of the time. DistroKid have a great article, which I've linked down in the description, that gives you a little more detail for each individual store. In my personal experience, it's usually between 24 and 48 hours, so 1 to 2 days to get released to most of the major stores. Seems that Spotify can sometimes take 3 or 4 days. It seems to take the longest, but things like Apple Music and Google Play, it gets released usually within the first or second day. Check out that link in the description for more information. Number 2, how long does it take to get paid, and how do you get paid? Well, it takes about 3 months, and the reason for that is that the stores don't actually send their reports of the streams and the sales to DistroKid or to any other distributor for about 3 months. So there is about a 3-month lag that you need to keep in mind. Once those reports come through, however, 100% of those royalties are paid into the bank section in DistroKid. And once you have money in DistroKid, how do you withdraw it? Well, my recommendation is to use PayPal. It's available in most parts of the world. It's convenient, it's quick, it's easy to use. There are other options for folks in the US, which you can check out. In fact, there's another link to another article by DistroKid all about how to get paid down in the description. And the third most common question I get is, can I delete or edit a release once it's already out there? Well, delete, yes, it's actually quite easy. You just need to go into your music, go down to the bottom, there's a delete option there, and it will remove that from the stores. It takes about the same amount of time to remove as it does to release. So usually within 1 to 2 weeks, your song will be removed from all of the stores. You can then re-release it if you need to make a significant change. There are some things that you can actually edit once it's released, things like lyrics can be added, things like the actual time that you want your preview to be on there for things like TikTok and iTunes can be edited after the fact. But a lot of things, if you want to change the actual audio file or you want to change the name of the song or the artist, that needs to be removed and then re-released. Once again, a big thank you to DistroKid for sponsoring this video, and a reminder that there is a link down in the description where you can get 7% off your first year on any DistroKid plan. Thanks for watching and happy releasing.